And I have one question here because this is something that I have seen a lot of people do, and a lot of people have a lot of questions about. We're starting a project brand new, right fresh. We're seeing the very first prompt. I think in this panel here alone, we have very different ways to approach a first prompt. And I want to hear you guys' opinions on like, maybe not the right way to do a first prompt, but like the different variations of how to approach starting your project, what's good practice, what's not good practice, what you should be doing, what you definitely shouldn't be doing. I know that you guys have a lot of good opinions on this stuff. And before Brandon starts with his first prompt, I would love to hear you guys about that, because I know a lot of people come into our site and we've seen it. We've seen a lot of different ways to approach it. I want to hear you guys' opinions on the initial prompt.
Yeah, so I'll go first. So the thing, our platform, like I said, is designed for human in the loop where you want to be, which also pretty much means it's better off for iteration. There are some, so when you get into like the ultra enthusiast coding world, I'll call it, there are some really interesting patterns that people are implementing and doing. One of which is you come in with a massive spec file, which just is a specification file. You just specify everything you want to build, and the AI will spin on it for like 12 hours. No one would ever do that if they were paying for the compute themselves. So that only works if you're on like a GPT or Claude $200 plan or whatever.
I'm sorry, just real quick, because Jeremy said this a couple of times. For anyone watching, when Jeremy says that, and you're like, I spend as much money as I want on the AI, and I'll do what I want because I'm rich and I've got a credit card.
Yeah.
Makko's the place for you. Come and iterate as much as you would like, and we will take every dollar and give you some great shit back.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, come iterate on high quality in your art all the time. You'll get some great shit. You can even email us and we'll do some custom shit for you. So like, hit us up. You want to spend money? We'll let you spend money. But yeah, so it just gets really expensive to have massive spec files that you iterate on over and over and over again. It's also very hard to validate it did what you wanted it to do. So generally speaking, now when you're starting, you got to start somewhere. So I'll let Brandon talk about how he wants to start. But my general thought here is it's not even the language you're using, it's how big your features that you start adding. Because if you come in and say, I want a full JRPG with every single thing that Final Fantasy VII had, good luck. Yeah, I mean, maybe 1 out of 100 times you might get something that looks good. But if you come in and, you start building the battle system out, and this is why the design documentation matters so much. You start building a battle system out. Like, I would start with like an RPG scaffold, right? Like you want a map, you want an overworld, you want random battles. But like, those are all things you would want to add individually, because then you can confirm they work well before moving to the next thing. And this is common in programming, is like, the bigger, Brandon talked about scope creep, but it's true just even on a task, is the bigger your task, the harder it is to implement and the harder it is to verify it works. And so the smaller the task, conversely, it's easier to implement and it's easier to verify. And so sometimes it may feel like doing really, really big tasks is faster because it'll just run and you don't have to touch it. But most likely you're going to fight with it even more because it doesn't do something how you imagined, or this is common for me, is it did exactly what I imagined because I'm real good at talking to the AI, and then I go, crap, what I imagined was the wrong thing, right? And so I just spent all this time doing the wrong thing, which if I would have done it step by step, I would have figured those things out along the way. And I've literally gotten to points while working on Makko where I'll spend 2 or 3 days on a new feature and I'll just throw it away because it just like, I learned too much. I didn't like where it was at, and I have a completely different perspective from 2 or 3 days ago. Same thing for games, right? Like, you'll hit a point where the game just doesn't do what you thought was going to be fun or whatever. And this is why save points and restore points and all that stuff are important, is so that you can easily go back to last known. It's not even about breakage. It's like last time it was fun. You want to go back to that. So
it's one of the benefits too of like doing all this too, because like working in the game industry or in any other big tech company, like you would spend probably 2 weeks coming up with this feature idea and proof of concept instead of 2 days while using AI, and then you'd have to waste a lot of time to like throw that away. And so you can iterate a lot quicker with what we're doing here, with the AI generation, image generation, whatever. And so that is one of the main benefits.
So for
Right.
and I'll throw my shitty answer in, but for me, I generally what I'll do is I started doing the thing that we just did, where I'll come up with a nice little design doc and identify what it is that I want to build, and then I actually ask the AI to create a markdown document for me with prompts that I can follow along to build out each feature individually in a way that I can test when each one is done. And so then I basically just get a markdown document that I don't ask the AI to read every time. I just use it for myself, and I literally just go and copy, prompt 1. I make sure it's the thing that I want, and then I iterate for a couple hours with the AI while it builds that feature. And then once it's good and done, at the end of that conversation, I will say, now go back to the markdown document that has the prompts for all the shit we're doing and update it to be relevant to the work that we just did. And then I move on to the next prompt.
Yeah, and that's actually more similar to where in the long run we'll be as a platform. Caesar is I'm going to call him our YouTube guy. He does great work on our YouTube videos and all the tutorials, and really actually the YouTube tutorials are great because it pushes us to be like, well, how do you do this? And it's like, well, I don't know, it doesn't really work that easily, so we have to go build a feature to do a YouTube video. It's traditionally what Amazon and other companies we call dog fooding, but it's a good, basically eat your own dog food. So you build your product, you use it, you fix it so it's easier to use, which is what we're doing with animations. As I started making a game and I was like, this is trash. I mean, I built all this, by the way, so I'm not trashing other people. I built it all. So I started making a game and I was like, this is trash, I got to redo it. So it's a big one of our beliefs is like, I consider the product, it gets it done. I'm excited about it. But we're not at a point where we're happy with it, like perfectly happy with it. And so we're gonna constantly make all that stuff better. And we're always working
1% better
tirelessly.
every day, right? 1%
That's
better every
right.
day.
1% better. Let's go.
I'm a big believer of atomic habits, which is 1% better every day, baby. One of our big beliefs at our company is automate what you don't want to do. However, ultimately creating games is a creative process. So you should be creative, right? You should be exploring, imagining. Our product's not really meant to generate 100 of the exact same game across 5 different IPs and you just want carbon copies of everything. That's not really what we're targeting. But we think most people have, we do believe they have something they want to create, and most gamers I've talked to have this. There's something they want to create, they just don't know how to get it out. And so we'll constantly be developing tools to help you get it out. And but ultimately, the human in the loop, which is what it's called, and I say the phrase "human in the loop" where you want to be. Human in the loop is a common phrase in AI. Versus human out of the loop, where the AI does everything. We're big believers in human in the loop, where you want to be. And hopefully that's the hyper creative things. But if it's not, if you still want to code or you still want to draw. You saw my amazing whiteboarding image earlier. You can still draw, and the better drawings you come with, the better the art works. I use AI extensively for coding, but I do not let it decide designs. I do not let it decide where to go. It's just a really good coder. So it's more like how I would explain to another engineer how we're going to go build it. That's how I talk to Claude, and then I use Claude a lot. I'm very partial to Claude for coding in particular, and if it goes and starts doing the wrong thing, which it does oftentimes, I will tell it, hey, that's the wrong thing, stop. So
a lot of the time it also makes assumptions that aren't correct.
Caesar, go back to your collections.
Yep.
I want to show off your sketches and things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is a good example of how, like, if you have a general idea of what you want, you can use your sketch as an input and get whatever you want out. And you can see it's like really taking a sketch and turning it into something that looks pretty similar.
I like the stick figure pirate.
Yeah.
This one's sick. Look at this. This is my favorite one personally. I don't know why, but look at this little sketch.
That's like a Nightmare Before Christmas character.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's really good.
terrifying.
It's really good.
Oh, this is my favorite one. But I probably I don't know. My style is a little different. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with how these came out. Like this one, this is sick. It's almost to the T. So yeah, if you guys want to see how these were created, we have a bunch of shorts featuring all these characters being pumped out on our YouTube channel. And yeah, these are 12 series following 12 different genres and 12 different art styles, each one featuring a different art style that Makko currently offers on the site. So as you can see, we have a little bit of everything and a little bit for everyone.